Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Sama, Seattle Circuit Music and Art. I'm Derek Mazzoni. Thanks for being here. We are obviously still going through some really intriguing times with the pandemic in the United States. We've just had an election, which always is a particular transition this time, even more so than in the past. But I won't go into too much detail right now. I wanted to let you know that tonight we've got Mames Babegenush straight from Copenhagen. I've been looking forward to sharing this band with you. I love this music. I love the energy, and I love the virtuosity. These cats really know what they're doing with their instruments, which is always refreshing. And the repertoire that they play is ancient. It's Eastern European music, some Balkan music, but it's also it's filtered through where they live. In Copenhagen, part of the northern part of Europe. It's going to be interesting and it's going to be a lot of fun. But first, we have a quick message by one of our partners. This is Seattle Theater Group, which is a revered institution here in Seattle. They own the Paramount, the Moore Theater, and the Neptune Theater. Three phenomenal rooms, three phenomenal stages, which are responsible for a lot of the performances that you know of in Seattle, whether it's traditional pieces to the grunge that you know and love to new music. So a quick message from Mara Ahern, who's the developmental director of STG. And then we'll come back to me and then to Mames Babegenush.
Hi, everyone. I'm Maura Ahern with Seattle Theater Group, the nonprofit that's known for operating the historic Paramount, Moore, and Neptune theaters. What many people don't know is that STG is also committed to arts education and community engagement, especially serving individuals who are typically underrepresented. We've been providing arts training and personal development for youth for over 20 years. We are passionate about access to the performing arts. Before the pandemic, we were incredibly fortunate to be presenting over 700 performances a year with international, national, and local artists. Now, our stages are dark, and our sector is in jeopardy. The performing arts community needs your support. We are depending on individuals like you to help us get through this difficult time. Please consider donating today at stgpresents.org. Thank you. We cannot wait to welcome you back to the theaters.
Okay, so obviously we've been going through a really difficult time. If you've been working in the arts industry, if you're a performance artist, if you're stagehand, if you love this art form of going to see a show, we're in a really intriguing and difficult transition phase. So anything you can do to help to make sure that this art and this music continues to thrive and grow, please support any organization here, support STG, but also support organizations wherever you are seeing and experiencing Sama. So tonight, Mames Babegenush. I usually don't read too much as far as liner notes, but I like the way they present themselves. So I'm going to read this to you right now. Mames Babegenush unleashed a sonic crossroads where East unexpectedly meets North. The young Danish band's unique musical fusion marries their strong Scandinavian roots and elements of jazz with the vibrant dance music and klezmer traditions of Eastern Europe. From the contemplative ambience of Nordic snowscapes to the lively weddings of Romania, the music of Mames Babegenush exudes a sense of poignant melancholy and irresistibly danceable exuberance. They are going to be sharing with us a performance that they did at Drome Theater in New York City in January, right before COVID hit. In 2020, Mames Babegenush was selected for one of the highly coveted official showcases at WOMEX, the World Music Expo in Tampere, Finland. And their performance was filmed by Finnish television and broadcast nationwide. Today, I have Lucas Randi, who's a saxophone player, and also Emil Goldschmidt on clarinet. Gentlemen, thank you for coming to Sama.
Hey, thank you so much for having
us. Virtually coming. I mean, you're
Yes.
home right now, but here we are. I wanted to ask you a couple of quick questions. First off, how are you surviving? It's not like I can avoid the subject, and we're like, hey, we're in a time where there is no pandemic. How is life for you right now in Copenhagen, and especially in a context that you've been a band since 2004. It's not like stages are being filled up. What's life like for you now in this space?
Well, if I have to sum it up, it is pretty hard. The live scene is almost dead. We just had 1 month, I think, where we were allowed to do shows at venues, and then we closed down again in Denmark. So it's times are a little tough, but we manage, and
Okay.
the band is alive. So we're good as a band, although live shows are pretty important for us. So it's a big loss, but everybody's going through it. So yeah.
Okay.
And then have begun working on a new album.
Yeah.
So we're starting to work on all the songs we want to have on it, and to work on all on the music, so we can present something new and exciting whenever we're allowed to play again.
Okay. The music you're presenting, you brought up the fact that it's the band is okay, but you're not able to do live performance. And I've been a fan of your music, and I know I've had Lawrence Glenberg of the Clasmatics. I've had artists that speak to the reality that this music is meant to be heard in a live setting, that the stories that you're telling with this music are ones that kind of like create a circle. It's the way the audience is reacting to you. This is also music specifically made for helping people through hard times. Either it's a celebration or a wedding or something, or it's like, man, the harvest is just not happening, and the invading army just left. So this music is going to feed us in ways. And so it's perfect in a context of Sama, because we're focusing on healing and spiritual and sacred music, but it needs to have that relationship. It's like playing for each other. That's great. But I've seen your shows, I've seen the videos. You're reacting to the band. You're not like a shoegazing band. It's like, I'm just sitting here playing my instrument. Yeah. So if you could speak to that a little bit, like, the connection you have with your audience. You're successful. You've been doing this 2004, but it's that connection. And when I brought you guys up to other people that talk about you and talk about booking you all over the world, it's that the thing. It's like, oh man, this band is so good like that. Tell me that story.
Sure. I mean, we started as when we were just basically all of us are just friends from childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And we started the band when we were just in our 20s. And I mean, I was brought up with the music, and I have also always seen this music as part of the community. That's something that music happens in a community. And I think that's important to bring that vibe into the music, that music should be for a live audience. And in the beginning, this kind of music isn't really, at least when we started, wasn't really that known in Denmark, because the way it sounds, and it wasn't really known among a lot of the Danish people. So we just started to playing on very small bars whenever people wasn't expecting it, and the reactions we got from it was it just started a party everywhere we went. Yeah. And it was so amazing and so fun. And then we just say, okay, you know what? This has something. And we just started working a lot on the music, and just began, working, started playing smaller venues, and then it kind of grew and grew and grew and grew. And yes, so that's kind of like the beginning of it. So we have always been like a live band.
Okay.
That's kind of like the purpose of our, I would say, existence. The way we express ourselves. Yes.
Definitely.
Okay. Perfect. So we're talking about it. Let's see. Yep. Let's see the first song. This is January of this year. in New York City, Lower East Side, drum. Thanks for sharing this. Mames Babegenush.
Good evening, everyone. We're Mames Babegenush. We're from Denmark. We're so happy to be here. There's a lot of space here. Please come closer. I mean, we're polite. We're Scandinavians. So, are you ready? Here we go.
All right.
Yeah,
That's
here we
fun.
go.
We miss that.
Yes.
We do miss that.
Well, we do too.
Yeah.
Believe me.
That's so good. Tell me a little bit about like what uh, I know a little bit about the history of this music.
Mhm.
Being growing up in Eastern Europe and being an immigrant, but tell me what you want the audience to know. What do you want people to know about this music? Because it has a very cathartic experience. It's like you're out there, like, hey, come closer. We're Scandinavian. We won't bite. And then people do, and they come, and that was not an easy show. That's the APAP. That's an
Yeah.
insider show. Everybody's like this. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And you got people to come in. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Sure. I mean, the song we just listened to, the beginning was our, I would say, version of a doina. And a doina, that's a very typical Romanian, I would say, form of almost this kind of improvised. I mean,
Gathering song. Or...
yes. I mean, the typical, when I teach this to students, I usually say that the story behind the doina is that one of the shepherds is sitting on a hill and he's watching all his sheep. He's playing his flute, and then one of the sheep runs away, and then he goes out to get it, and after some time he finds it and bring it back home, right? So we wanted to do this kind of version, but with a more kind of like Nordic, sound to it. And it also have this kind of like, we wanted to say, yes, okay, we want to have the audience, we want to take you by the hand and draw them into us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Saying, come on, we'll get you, and we're going to get you here safely.
Okay. So it's a journey.
It's a journey, of course.
Okay. You said that this music was really that well known in Denmark. So how did you find it?
Well, I grew up with it. I'm Jewish, and so much of the songs and the stuff we played in the beginning was something that I learned from childhood.
From who?
Yes.
But from who? Who taught you?
Oh, from my father.
Okay.
So yes. I mean, my family is originally from Germany, and they fled to Denmark in 1937, and then they managed to escape again from Denmark to Sweden in 1943. And then they moved back to Denmark and stayed there.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, I've known Lucas from I was 10 years.
Yeah.
We started playing together in a marching band in a Danish, a very famous Danish amusement park called Tivoli, and they have this small. It's a boys' guard, a marching band, and we played together there from we were 10 to 16. And after that, we started playing Jewish music together.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
the band was pretty much built around Emil's love for this music, and the rest of us in the beginning was just really digging the energy and all of these crazy melodies and grooves and stuff we never met before, musically speaking. Or in any other form. So for me, it was basically just the energy of it, and I can still remember our first show from like 16 years ago, and so it was pretty much built around this very intuitive. How do you say it? Just
spontaneous energy.
Spontaneous energy, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So it's an emotional music, and this is. I'm trying not to be stereotypical, but the Danes aren't known, unless there's a soccer game or something. There's like everybody loses their mind, but it's not like this music is like I'm gonna feel right now. I'm gonna tell you a story, and and it'll go back in the time, and it's like you gotta be there. Like when you see people dance, it's like one of those like you're crying and laughing all at the same time kind of moment. Yeah. And that's not known. I'm curious, like your first show, it's like, we have a surprise for you. Okay. Yeah. But it seems to work. And there's something about it that connects people in an interesting way. And I've heard versions of this type of musical effect as emotional tenderizing, and like the Donya is like has that, like, it's a start. You're gonna go later, but you can't just go like, like at a techno club where it's like you come in, it's like boo, boo, boo. It's like, no, we're going to take you. We're gonna like on this journey and take you there. Let's go to the next song, and then we'll talk about more about emotional tenderizing. Mames Babegenush, Ensemble, scientific music and art. I'm make believe I'm on radio right now instead of on video. Let's hear the other song.
Yeah.
All right, Mames Babegenush. At Drum in New York City, big shout out to Mehmed and everybody else putting that out. Hopefully, that
Yeah.
room will stay and one day grow. So, emotional tenderizing, interacting with the audience. Before we go into that, you guys are good. Like, there's no slackers. There's nobody out there who's just trying to keep up and set. And so, the one thing that I love about Denmark, Sweden, etc., is that like the musicianship is great. You could hear it in jazz, especially when like Sonny Rollins or Dexter Gordon went to Scandinavia. Like the quality of musicians is great. So how often do you guys practice? And also, what does the improvisational quality of this music, the reaction to the crowd, how does that play in the performances that you guys are putting on?
Well, as how much we practice, that's
Like, do you practice? Like, are you guys like every day we must practice?
All of us do that individually, but as a group, we actually it's very on and off. When we have projects, we get together quite a lot. But if we have a lot of live shows, it's actually better for us sometimes not to rehearse and just do the shows.
Okay.
I mean, yes, and also we have such a long history with the band, and we have played so many times together. So it's just like an extended family that we all know what everybody's doing, and it's so easy to play together because we're not only musicians, we're also friends, and we have grown up together. So it's just it's just like being in a family reunion.
What's your secret? What's your secret? Because I know enough bands, and longevity is awesome, but it's a special sauce. Because most of the time, it's like I'm tired of you, enough, or like you're spending too much time on stage. It's my turn now. What's the magic?
Like keeping together as a band?
Yeah, without killing each other, being on a road, etc.
I guess we also had some ups and downs, but not. Really not as many as other bands that I know. I guess part of the reason might be that we are kind of a collective, musically speaking. So we try to give space to everybody and not dictate too much what the other guys are playing. And
the Danish Jante law.
Oh, yeah. You think that?
We have the Jante law.
Mm.
That every Dane know this law, and it's especially like you shouldn't think that you're more than anybody else, right? So it's like an ego. Well, we don't like big egos in Denmark, right?
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, it is a Danish thing, but yeah.
Tell me more. I'm intrigued.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Tell me more.
I mean, well, it's deep rooted in the Danish society, the Jante law. And it basically, the basics of it is like you don't believe that you are more than anybody else. We are all on the same level, right?
It's pretty anti-US, I guess, at some aspect.
It depends on the city. We're in Seattle, which is different than New Orleans. Like you guys would love New Orleans and other cities. The United States is gigantic. It's
I know.
like,
yeah.
So
this show was the first show on a 2-week tour where we actually ended up in New Orleans for the first time with this band, and that was something else.
Yeah, it's a different place than others. What were you thinking when you were playing that show? Though we're looking at the footage from. What was on your mind?
As Emil just mentioned before,
surviving.
Before we started, this was our first show on the tour, and we just
arrived like 3 hours before the show. So we were a little bit, a little bit jet lagged, and we also knew that this was an important show, so we wanted to do the best. So you just have to find that kind of that extra energy, and just do everything you can to play your best.
I kind of like these kinds of showcase concerts where you are really put on the spot and you have to show a lot of stuff in a certain amount of time. Where everything gets quite compacted. I guess you'll see later on that we also we didn't go all the way through that route, so we have some what's it called, slow songs and with some room, but
Yeah, you have to condense the set.
yeah.
Got it. Yeah, you can't just go on all night. Okay, let's go to the next track. You guys, you brought us a lot of music, which we're grateful for.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to Mames Babegenush, STG
We go.
Sama.
We're just gonna take it down a notch and play a beautiful song written by a beautiful musician and composer called Emil Kreuter. He's from Moldova. It's called Scandinavian.
All right, Mames Babegenush, your brother. I guess it's your brother, Bo, on flugelhorn.
It is.
Yes.
He's feeling it, man. He was just in the zone.
He was getting into the tambourine.
He was just,
Yeah.
the tambourine came out. I was like, whoa, okay, this is awesome. I can't wait to see you guys live. Mames Babegenush. Okay, so a difficult subject, but I need to broach it right now. There's a transition going on in the world right now, and old ghosts such as anti-Semitism seem to be rising, especially in the East and throughout the world. One of the things that I love about artists such as yourself is that you bring this beautiful music of your culture that like flanks the stupidity of people and the fear of people, and that's an interesting thing to carry. But it's also a powerful tool because it's not like politics against politics or like you're an idiot. No, you're an idiot. Artists such as yourself that actually bring this can change people's hearts. And the way, I live in the West Coast in Seattle, so we're all kind of hippie here, happily. It opens up people's hearts, like we always use this metaphor. And as soon as you open up people's hearts, yay, good catch.
Here we go. The bass.
Watch out with all of this love.
It's
Love.
all
See,
getting
boom.
the vibrations here.
It's going out. We need it. But it's true, because once you do get people to kind of fall in love with the music and fall in love with the culture, the propaganda or the fear just goes away. It's like it takes time. It's not instant, but especially with young people, it's like, wait a second, this is I don't believe that. Can you speak to that a little bit? Because you will be traveling and you're carrying this thing, and you're doing it in Denmark, which didn't have a tradition with it. It's not like Slovakia or Poland or Ukraine where we could just tap into that. Tell me about that.
Well, as Emil said, we started out very focused on klezmer music, Jewish dance music, and we were super into this and still are. But at one point, we also wanted to incorporate other genres and music traditions and inspirations. So for us, it made very good sense, musically speaking, to just incorporate a lot of different cultures and our own Nordic background and all sorts of stuff, just without only judging what's good music and what's not. So as you also asked previously about our improvisational, we also have a lot of free jazz-like stuff where we improvise together and stuff. So for us, it's been a lot about just letting the music talk and not worrying too much about all of these. Politics and music rarely makes, for me at least. But I don't know. Do you have?
Well, I think one of the beauties about music is that when I delved really deep into Jewish music, I found out that Jewish music also have been influenced by a lot of different music, like all the neighboring cultures, right? And when we're talking about Yiddish music or the music from the Ashkenazim, the Ashkenazi Jews that lived in Eastern Europe, they were also influenced by Romanian music and Turkish Greek music and so on and so on. And I think that you'll find that in every kind of folk music. There's always been this kind of, exchange between cultures. And I think that's really matters that, it should just, music is just an universal language, right?
Yeah.
And whatever you find that you feel comfortable in, whatever kind of music you feel comfortable in expressing yourself, that's the ultimate goal, right?
Perfect. Yep, exactly. Let the music speak for itself. Let's go. Speaking of which, let's go to the next song. You guys have given us more music than any other artist that we've had on Sama so far. So well done.
Thank you.
Mames Babegenush on Sama, Seattle Sacred Music and Art with STG and Live and More. Mames Babegenush, Ensemble,
Yeah.
Celtic Music and Art. All right, so the opening of the dance floor filled, and people got in, and they started feeling it and rolling along. Um, do you guys ever just want to keep playing all night
Oh,
when it's
yeah,
happening?
We do that. Yeah.
we do that. Well, as I mentioned before, when we started, like really back in the days, every time we did a show, we would find a bar, and then we would be playing all night at the bar, and just having people dancing, buying us beer, and we would have a good time.
Hmm.
So I think, I think,
Yeah, definitely. It's super it's affecting everybody, including us. And after a show, I'm always invigorated, and it always takes a couple of hours for me to get back to normal.
Unwind a little bit.
Yeah. So yeah.
That's perfect. So, quick note on New York, because I'm familiar with APAP and Global Fest. Did you guys end up playing Golden Fest? Did you guys go to that thing?
Yes.
Yeah, we did. On the
Okay.
same tour, we played the huge hall.
The ballroom.
Yeah, and Brooklyn. Yeah, everybody just watching right now. I should do this. So APAP is the Association of Music Presenters. It's basically everybody in North America comes to New York in January, and all these bands from all over the world come and play. And then these are booking agents that basically book like universities and halls and cities, from Canada, United States. And so it's been going on for a long time, because these universities, they have to fill the calendar year. They can't just maybe we'll get this, maybe not. So it's a big deal. Bands come in, they play. It's at the best in New York, and it's freezing, but it's always invigorating and fun. And so there's this huge event of Jewish music, all types of Jewish music in Brooklyn, called Golden Fest. And there's a big hora, which is that big circle dance.
Sure.
That goes on, and everybody plays. And I've been there before. I went with the Klasmatics, and I remember this big sign. It's like, please, no jamming, to all the musicians, because it was just like, enough already. It's like, we got to fill in.
Yeah, and I also think they closes at 2:00, just to have because otherwise it's just it's too much.
Yeah.
It's just, but it's a blast, and I highly recommend everybody, once we get back to normal, to go and explore, because it is a really powerful and wonderful showcase to share that.
And everybody just want to dance. Is that amazing? Everybody's just coming to have a good time and dancing.
Yeah, and they're dressed for it too. Like, they're not like formal. It's just, I'm here to dance all night. It's like, these are my comfortable shoes. I've got my sweatband on, and I'm here to dance all night.
And that room fits several thousand, I guess.
Yeah. And you're like, I don't want to be too insiderish, but you come in, you're like, what the hell is this? Like, how did they find this? It's just, it's not a big room on the outside. So have you guys started a scene? Are there other bands that emulate you right now in Copenhagen? Are you guys at the beginning of like this klezmer revival or something? Or what's the story?
Funny you're mentioning that, because I guess this is 6 or 7 years ago. We had our first cover band. A band.
Yeah. All of a sudden, we found some videos of a band. I guess they were a bigger band with 10 or 11 band members, but they did our songs, and even some of them had some of our moves also when
that was great. Really great.
How did that make you feel?
I thought it was great. I loved it. It was these high school kids, and a lot of them went on to have other bands now.
Went to the conservatory.
Yeah, and
so they were good players. I mean, so.
But I guess coming to answer your question, I guess we were part of some kind of a wave in Denmark. Like, this must have been 10 years ago.
Yes.
Where there was a lot of Balkan, Eastern European music on a rise, and bands as well. I'm not sure how the music scene right now is. There's still quite a lot of Balkan bands around.
Well, I think the music evolved a little bit, because, I mean, 10 years ago, especially when, Chantel really, he had like these big hits, and everybody just got together to have like Balkan parties, and it was just danceable, and it was just about the groove. And I think the bands now are starting to do, I would say, a little, it's a little bit more artistic now, I would say.
Yeah.
Even though it's still danceable, it's still, the music is becoming much more interesting.
They get better at their instruments. They don't want to just go like the same thing over and over again. They're like, okay, let me play some nuance to it. All right, let's get back into it right now. Some more music. Mames Babegenush.
Whoa, very nice.
Mames Babegenush, Ensemble. Heard that little Romanian right at the end of it. How did the name come about?
The band name?
Band
Yeah.
name.
I mean, it's like, it's
You know,
not.
It
It's not
was
the
definitely
bird.
before, that's right. It was before Google. That's for sure. It's not a Google-friendly name.
No.
No. I guess. I mean, I think it's just a dedication to all the mothers out there. I mean, it's about that your mom is just making the best food in the world, basically, right?
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky, yes. But my mother does, so I'm lucky.
Okay.
So for those in the audience that don't know what babegenush is, it's a Middle Eastern salad, I guess you would.
Eggplant salad.
Eggplant
like
salad,
it's
yeah.
small bit.
Yeah.
So Mames Babegenush,
Yeah.
basically.
There you go. I want to be in a room when you're like, I've got it.
I've got it.
That's name for the band.
Yes, that's right.
So you guys are working on a new record.
Yes.
And what's in light of this reality, what does that look like?
I think we are super proud of our last album, so we've decided to go with the same studio, which is a beautiful place in Copenhagen, where we're allowed to be in the same room acoustically and do everything live. So last we did an album with a string quartet joining us for quite a few tracks, and this one I think we will try and dive into, at least that's the plan right now, to dive into us six and the acoustic sounds and try and go deeper with some arrangements than we have before, and I guess, yeah.
And also the drummer picked up the cymbalum.
Yeah.
So
he's playing cymbalum and drums now, which of course changed a lot of the soundscapes, the possible soundscapes,
and the dynamics.
Yeah. It takes it to Romania. It takes it to the Balkans instantly.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And so it's an interesting evolution for the sound. And so you're going in the studio, and then when do you plan to have the record out?
The plan right now is sometime during the summer of 21. Hopefully accompanied by some touring, if allowed.
Crossing fingers.
Yeah.
So,
and toes.
And toes, everything.
Yeah.
Okay, we're looking forward to having you here when that happens. But let's hear another song first. Mames Babegenush. Yay, bravo.
Thank
Nice
you.
to see that. It's nice to see that. That was lovely, and continues to be lovely. So I'm stoked that you guys are playing. I'm stoked that you guys have this new record out. The other thing that's interesting is that you guys are making remixes also, and they're interesting remixes. It's not like, just throw it in at a backbeat and we go. And how did that come about? Like, how did do you go and find a producer? They're like, hey, you could make this interesting, or do they come to you? How's that process work?
This was like an experiment on our yeah, it was our third album, and we had a lot of different ideas, and we just started recording basically, and we ended up with a very diverse group of tracks. So so we just decided that this was actually also very cool, just having a lot of different stuff on one album.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of these producers were friends of ours from before. Some Danish, an electronic artist called Trandemøller, and a dancehall producer, which did 2 tracks of us. So this was kind of an experiment, trying to take it in new directions, I guess.
We do it again?
We might, as not as a full album, I guess. I think where I'm at now.
I think also after that we've discovered kind of like the beauty of just playing acoustic music acoustically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that it really it touches people a different way.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just being, so close. Also, when we play, I really like to play venues where you're really close to the audience.
Mm-hmm.
I should be able to touch, the audience, right? So it should be that feeling that, I think just playing an instrument acoustically does something completely different. It really touches people in a different way.
You could be playing in the middle of the audience in that way.
For instance.
Yeah, you could be. Whereas in electronic, you can't, because it's, it's the booth,
Also,
or there has to be a separation, and which both are great. I'm gonna be DJ, so it's fine. But it's
But I mean, I think especially for wind instruments. I mean, we're 3 wind instruments, and you have to use, a lot of core muscles, meaning you have to produce a lot of energy when playing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that gives something to the music.
Yeah. You mean just going like this isn't enough?
Yeah.
This is true. This is true. Okay, I'm gonna we could talk for hours, but we're coming up here, so we're gonna go out with the last song.
Okay.
And I want to thank you, Emil and Lucas. Thank you so much. This is Seattle Circuit Music. Working with STG, working with NLive right now. Please support STG. So please support every venue that you can. Please support. Know for a fact, and you guys are part of the scene. It's not just the artists. It's not just the venue owners. It's the stage hands. It's the people taking your tickets. It's the bartenders. Everything. It's part of a huge ecosystem, and it's what makes a city like, Copenhagen a city, or Seattle like a city. You go, you land, and where am I going to go tonight? And if those places go away,
sure,
we lose the soul, we lose the culture.
Everything.
And I'm sending that love out to the base once again, so it could resonate. Open up your hearts, open up your purses, people.
Also that.
And support them. Massive success with the new record, and well, I should do some business. We have some amazing artists. We have Rahmat Al-Nusrat from not from Rajasthan, Northern India next week, and a whole bunch more. But you guys stay healthy, stay sane, and keep the music playing. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Okay. Oh, big shout out to Dagmara, April, and Benita also for making this happen.
Thank you.
Okay.